Okay, guys. So it's me, Lucky. And so I left off with speaking about my tattoo. It is a 10-pointed star, and I got it because I realized that although we are different people, different entities, and we have different reactions and different responses to things that happen to us, we are really one. We are really one. We are one being experiencing different perspectives. That's what living and life is here on earth to me. Because I'm trying to do my research on everything that interests me and things that don't interest me too. And so that got me into quantum theory and string theory, and I mean, I really got to delve into the meaning of things for me. I'm not saying I'm a guru and I know the answers to everything, because I clearly do not. I am a human being. I've taken the time out to learn who I am, and I have come to a point where I believe that my experiences can help others, whether it be that they take that and they do everything opposite, or they take bits and pieces and they can learn from my experiences without having to go through them. It's been a long journey, but we're here. I'm here right now. So I say that to say that in time you will come to realize that I'm doing this for love. Love for myself, and love for each and every one of you, because you are really just extensions of me. I used to wonder why I didn't like certain people. I was very angry. I used to wonder why I didn't like certain people just by being in their presence. I didn't like their presence. And I realized eventually that it was a part of myself that I hadn't come to terms with yet. That's what I didn't like about them. It's funny how you can learn those lessons. So, my 10-pointed star. I got that tattoo when I was living in Florida, Orlando, and I had just moved there with my second husband, and I wanted a change in my direction on where my life was headed. And I got that tattoo, and I got another tattoo that was a fairy. She's like my guardian, my fairy guardian, fairy of the sun. But that's when I started to realize that I was set on a different path. I've experienced a lot of things that a lot of people haven't, and I can tell about it. That could be my testimony to others. Because I didn't go through those things for nothing. And I do know we're all connected. So it's funny. I used to live in Germany, Schweinfurt, Germany, and I was in a club one time, and I saw someone who looked familiar to me, and I was like, no, that can't be him. And I went over to him, and it was him. It was someone I had went to high school, Oak Ridge High School in Orlando, Florida, with, and shout out Jakara. But yeah, it was like, it truly is a small world. It truly is a small world out there, you know. I remember leaving Germany and moving to Lawton, Oklahoma. And in Lawton, I had saw someone from Germany that I never thought that I'd see again in my life. But there they were. And it's like, it is amazing how your path crosses people's for a reason. You know, you experience certain things for a reason. That's what I found to be eye-opening. So grateful for the experiences I had. I don't have any fear when it comes to traveling or stepping out of my comfort zone, because I've had to do it so often that it's natural to me now. I don't like to say never anymore, because my life has taught me that you should never say never, because the one thing that you thought could never happen is the one thing that will be staring you in your face one day. So I could never imagine myself being homeless. I could have never imagined myself not communicating, period. My children. Those were things that I would have never thought for myself, but alas, those are things that have happened. And I know that those things happen to make me a stronger and better person. Whether anybody sees it or not, it's okay, because I know we're all connected. And what we don't get today will be the lesson learned tomorrow. People today, when they meet me, they're meeting a person that I wasn't 30 years ago. They're meeting someone who has studied themselves. And it's amazing what people see when they look at me and they tell me what they see, because they would have never imagined some of the things I've gone through, some of the spaces I've been in. I was raised upper middle class. My dad, he liked to adventure. He liked adventure. He liked to explore. And I have taken that from him. And I'm thankful to him for that. But my dad, is also the root of some of my actions and who I became, and also who I am today. So I want to talk to you all right now about connection and purpose, because I was molested as a child by my father. Me saying that for the world to hear is not something that I take lightly. It is something that I'm sure some of my family members knew, but didn't say anything. And I'm sure that those same people will be mad at me for saying this out loud. But it took a lot of counseling and a lot of deep soul searching to be able to admit that out loud. Because in the community I was raised in, that's not something that you talk about. What goes on in your house, it stays in your house. And you don't let people know. But even as a child, people used to say that I was fast and I was grown and ahead of my time. And I look back on my life and I'm like, well, why didn't they question that? Because I was acting in ways that children should not act. But I blocked it out. And it wasn't until after my mom passed away that the memories started coming back. That's another story we'll have to talk about. But here today, I know that I was put through certain things because that was how I was built to learn, built to grow. We are not what happens to us. We are how we react to what happens to us. And for a long time, I was seeking love and affection outside of myself. Totally outside of myself. And I didn't know why. But it was because of what had happened to me that I had buried inside. I was searching. I found myself eventually, got counseling, and was able to speak freely about it. And I know a lot of people can't. But thank you to the ones who have the courage to. Thank you. Because it does take a lot of courage. I have friends, one in particular, who was abused, and their mother knew. But she didn't believe her. She acted like she didn't believe her. And my friend loves her mother. I was abused in a lot of ways, but I was sexually abused. Let me make that clear. Incestuous abuse. I didn't know that that was what was running my life for many, many years. I didn't know. I was mean to people. I was angry, disrespectful to myself and to others. Because I didn't know what I did to make my life the way that it was. I remember one time, after I got married, I went to visit my parents, and I was taking the train home, and my parents had taken me to the train station, and I had one child walking. I had one child on my hip, and I had another child in my stomach. And my dad, he was giving me a hug goodbye, and he kissed me square in my mouth, like tongue and all. And I was like, what was that? I mean, I tried the whole way home, I tried to convince myself that that did not happen. But it did. I was an adult. I was grown. I was out of the house. But he thought he still had that power over me. He didn't. I was no longer the victim. After that. And something changed in our relationship after that. But again, that's another story. We'll get to it. I'm laying it all out. I'm laying it all out. I'm not sugarcoating. I'm not making up. Just letting the truth be known. My truth be known. And I thank you for joining me. And again, if any of this resonates, comment, like, subscribe. Because in the end, it helps me. It helps me. It helps me determine what I'm going to talk about. It lets me determine how deep am I really going to go. I laugh and I smile because I've already been through the painful part. I have already been through the painful part. I am here right now in a good, clean, clear space in my life. Thank you for joining me. Grounded and galactic, y'all.